first video, I figured I would help you guys out and help you figure out where to find land, how to find land, and how to find it safely with minimal risk of being scammed. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to walk you through all the sites that we scoured and we hunted through. It took us about a month in order to find our piece of land down in Cochise County, Arizona. However, I think we looked at maybe over 100 pieces of land on the internet, and then when it actually came down to visiting them, we maybe visited 10 to 12 pieces of land in general, maybe a little bit more than that. We originally looked in the Kingman area, then we went ahead and looked in the Snowflake area, and we ended up deciding on a piece of land that we found in Cochise, Arizona. All right, so you decided that you want to buy land. Next step would be how to find land. So my 3 favorite sites that I found were the most useful when it came to searching land is landwatch.com. The second site that we used was Landmodo. And then the third site that we used was land.com. Now, one thing to note is that even though these are legit sites, I don't believe they vet the people who are listing the pieces of land. So even though there's pieces of land on here, doesn't mean that it's a legit person selling it. You still have to go in and do your due diligence for your research, which I can go ahead and make another video on that, on researching who owns the land, matching parcel numbers, ensuring that basically everything is in order before you guys actually buy the land. So I can go ahead and make that into another video later. So you decided you found your land. We now have our sites that we are going to look for. I have heard of people looking for land on Craigslist and Facebook.com. Not saying that it's all a scam. There probably are legit people out there who are selling on there, but it's a lot easier for people to scam somebody off of Facebook. So if you are looking for land and people are asking for down payment, deposits, up front, and all that kind of stuff, I would just avoid that all in general. Do your research before any money gets exchanged. So make sure you guys do your due diligence. So you decided you wanted your land. These are the 3 websites that we are going to search across. Next thing that you're going to need to figure out is where you want to find your land. So on every single one of these sites, it's nice because you can either search by city, county, state, or ID. And then also all 3 of these websites that are up here, they do offer seller financing, and they do have this listed in the posting. So on landwatch.com, you can look for land for sale, farms and ranches, hunting land, home sites, etc. And then what it will do, it will give you the person who's selling it. It's going to give you the price, how many acres, and then hopefully some pictures of the land as well. One thing I did notice that when we were looking is that a lot of the land is owned by realtor companies that may not be in your state. Meaning when they posted pictures of the land, they're either super old pictures or they're Google Map pictures. That does not mean that it is a false seller. It just means that they might not be in the state, so they don't visit the land as often, which can be an advantage or a disadvantage to you. In my situation, it ended up becoming an advantage because we were able to get the land a lot cheaper, with there being power right at the back of our property. So I think when the land was purchased or sold, there wasn't power there initially, but now that there is, it would have definitely increased the prices, especially with how much development has happened around in that area. So that could also be very good for you to look at there. So pretty much first thing that you need to do is you need to figure out where you want to buy land. Now, when my husband and I were searching, we weren't sure if we wanted to buy land in Arizona, where we currently live. We threw around some options of buying land over in Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, California, some in Texas. So just decide where you want to buy your land at. So I went ahead and typed in where we're going to be looking at land at. And then next thing that you want to do is figure out, are you looking for houses, farm ranches, undeveloped land? Specifically for me, we were looking to do a homestead, so we were looking at undeveloped land. So once you go ahead and you select that, then you can do a search. You can search just like any other website that you can. You can do it by prices, acreage, newest, recently changed. I would personally start off with a price. Know your price range going into it. You'll see some things that are crazy prices for a very small amount of acreage, and you see some acreage that's super cheap for a ton of acreage. So you have to make sure that you find your middle person there. So we're going to go ahead and just select the first one that we're going to look at. Let's go ahead and take a look at this 1.01 acres for $17,000 in Mohave County. So when you're looking at your land, before you go out and visit it, the best thing to do would be to contact the seller. It does allow you to do it on each of these sites, which is great to make sure that the property is still available. My husband and I went to Kingman area to go look at a bunch of properties. Come to find out, two of the properties we really wanted, they were right next to each other, 2 parcels. The seller never responded back to us, so no idea what happened. Another property that we was our second property that we liked. They were in the process of selling it. So even though it's listed on the website here, it could be currently closing, where someone else purchased it already, or it could be something where they just don't respond. So before you go looking, then you want to make sure that you contact them, make sure it's all good. So what's great about it is that usually they'll give you some good pictures as far as the location, where it's located at. You can see it in relation to some other areas. As you're looking for your land, you want to make sure that you know what's around you. Is there a Home Depot or a Lowe's? Are there grocery stores nearby? How far do you have to go into town in order to get supplies? You know, if you just came from town and you forgot, the nails that you needed to assemble your fence, how long is it going to take you to go back, and how many hours you're going to lose doing that? So you just want to make sure that you know what's around you. The things that we did, because you never know how old these Google Earth photos are. What we did is, usually on every single post, they will go ahead and put on there either the address, which is listed here, or they'll put the coordinates. So the best thing that you can do is take that address, those coordinates, and you want to plug them into Google Maps. So you want to take that the coordinates, or take the address if it has one, and you want to plug it into Google Maps. This is so that you can make sure that what they plugged in matches what they're showing you. So once you get that plugged in, then you want to go ahead and you want to change the view, and you want to do a satellite view. So then you can go ahead and you can zoom in, you can see what the land looks like, you can see what is around the area. So this seems like there's a lot of people building in this area as well, so that might be the reason for the $17,000 price tag. You can kind of look around, zoom around, see what mountain ranges are over there, what type of dining is there, if that's in the area. We were looking for neighbors. We were trying to figure out who was truly around the area and how much they owned and what was truly around the area as well. So, and then you can kind of zoom out, you can kind of see, you can see everything. So you always want to do that with every single property. So you contacted the person, they said it's available, now it's time to do your due diligence and start doing your research. So get over to Google Maps and see what the land is about. So this was Land Watch, and then once you create an account and all that good stuff, you can go ahead and save the ones that you like, and it basically will give you all the information that you need. One thing that I did find is that, I can't remember which one of these sites it was, but they were not listing APN numbers for some reason. But sometimes if you take the address and you plug it into Google, I found that it linked to different sites like Trulia and like those renter websites, where it had the APN on those ones as well. So Landmodo is going to work a little bit better. It's just like Land Watch. You could type in what you're looking for. On here, you can search by owner finance land, land for sale. Let's go ahead and do owner finance land, and then you can do a property type. We are going to do rural. And then we are going to set our limit of how much we would like to pay. Let's see what they have for in the 10,000. So then you can do search. I did not specify where we want to look at. We're just going to kind of see what's out here. But like it tells you, this one's in Elko County, Nevada. We have this one is in Cochise, Arizona. Then we have some in Florida. So pretty much it will pull up any type of rural land that you have anywhere. Let's look at this Arizona one. Since these ones are pulling ones that are owner finance, what they'll end up doing is they'll tell you mainly in the pictures how much that they want down. So this one is $100 down. It's for 0.85 acres, and then it's $51 a month. And one of the things I noticed is that with a lot of these, they're going to charge you one flat fee usually. So they'll break everything down, the interest and all that good stuff inside their description below, so you know what you're paying up front. So there's like no hidden cost or any of that good stuff. So this one looks like it's around a lot of farms. And so over here, it tells you what the total price of the land is. And just because it says that once owner financing is available, it doesn't mean that you have to do it. You can go ahead, and a lot of them will just let you pay it off. Because when we were looking for our land, we noticed that a lot of these land companies are holding on to a lot of land right now. And they're ready to let it go. And it's easier for them to close on the land if you pay in cash. So if you want to pay in cash, you completely can. So this one has the APN number, it has your acres, and then it gives you all the details about. You'll find some people who have videos, which is great. And then this is where I was telling you earlier about the GPS coordinates, where you can just take those coordinates, you can paste them right into Google, and it's going to take you right where you are. So a lot of times they will have all 4 coordinates. So you'll have to compare this with the parcel map on the county assessor's website, which I can show you how to do that as well when you do more research in the next video. But a lot of times it will either have a center coordinate or it will be a corner. Another thing that you want to make sure that you're looking for when you are on Google Maps is there an access road to the property? Do you have to go through someone else's property to get to yours? Is there a road at all to the property? Also, this is also great because it will tell you if your property is in a wash. So you can see right here, this is a wash. That means that it's getting some heavy rain through that area when it does rain in Arizona, but you just want to make sure that you use Google Maps to look at this. You can also zoom out and see how far it is to a major road. So you can see right here, this Birch Street looks like it is a major road. There are some farms over here. They're probably growing alfalfa. There's an Apache RV service over here. So even though you don't have neighbors, you're still in the area of some good traffic, especially if there's a bunch of farms. And then there's a US highway right here. What is that? Highway 191. So if you have to get into town, you can probably easily get into town somewhere from here, especially since the highway is that close. So those are some things that you'll have to figure out when you go searching for land. Also, is how close do you want to be to a highway type of thing. So now we're going to go to the last website, which is landwatch.com. Now, this is where we found our land off of. Out of the 3 sites, Landwatch, I would say, was the most easiest and user-friendly to use. So with this one, we're going to go ahead and type in, well, I already have it searched here. We're going to type in Arizona. We're looking for land in Arizona. Now, my favorite thing about this is the map. As you can see on this side, it pulls up a map of whatever area that you want to look for. And then you can go further in there and you can go and you can filter by price. So let's say that we want our max price. Actually, we're going to put our max price at 5,000. It's going to weed everything else that's outside of your price range. So from here, you can decide where you want to be at. So when we were looking at land, we were originally looking up at Kingman. After our first day of looking, we were like, okay, maybe Kingman's not it. We really wanted to be over here. Well, we thought we wanted to be up here in the Snowflake area. We went, found a piece of property that we loved. It didn't work out. So we ended up searching down here in this area. Say that, you know, for budget's $5,000, you want in Arizona, then you can go ahead and you can click on it. and then it will take you to the land. One thing I did try and do is stay away from listings that look like this. There's not a lot of information on there. And personally, I feel like if the realtor couldn't even put pictures, not even like Google satellite pictures, are they truly real, or are they even, do they even want to do their job type of thing? One thing is that you want to make sure that if they're not communicating with you, just imagine how their communication is going to be when you're trying to close out on the property. Are they actually going to be reliable type of thing? So this one has 2 photos on there. This one is okay. I'm assuming that the realtor does not live out here. It gives you some information. So this one looks like they are selling 2 lots for the price of 1. So they give you the 2 APN numbers that are right there. And then they're asking $5,000 for the 2 lots. And it looks like this one he doesn't give a lot of information on, which is interesting. So let's come out over here. So this one is in Heber. It's $8,500 for 1.25 acres. This one to me feels like a perfect listing just because the pictures are so nice in it. So, they give you some good pictures, a nice zoom in on the land. Some of them will go on here and they will tell you how far some distances are. So how far are they from the major street or major city or major street. And then they will also give you GPS coordinates, the actual location itself. So let's go down and look at the listing. So it does show you who's selling this. This is important. You want to make sure that you grab that information of first name, last name, because if they are selling the land, when you go and do your research, it should have them listed as the owner on the property, or the realty company should be listed as the owner on the property. I personally tried to stay away from ones where they said that they're selling it for someone else, just because I didn't want to do that much digging and that's just too much a risk for me. So I wanted property that was under the realtor's name or under the realtor's company name when you go and do your research on there. So this one is telling you that this is agricultural land. A lot of these will go ahead and tell you how they're zoned. If they do not have it listed on what they're zoned, you go ahead and you can message the person and ask them what the zoning is. And then what you can also do is when you go and check on the county assessor's website, you can go ahead and you can double check the zoning as well. And then the county websites also do have what the zonings mean, or you can Google it sometime. So that has his contact information there. It has great pictures. It should has an address. So let's go ahead and plug that in and see what that looks like. Okay, so this is that piece of land that we're looking at. And so as you're zooming in on the land, this is also something that you want to look at. We talked about looking at the road earlier, but as you can see on this one, all the roads will usually always have a name if there's a road there. However, it does not mean that the road is maintained. This might be a road where you might have to maintain it and grade it. The county might come out and do it, but just looking at it on Google Maps, it doesn't look like the road is maintained. And if you don't have neighbors, the road isn't really being used a lot. You also want to check to see if you have to cross washes to come in and out the property. And then also, you'll want to look at is it actually accessible. Some of that stuff you won't know until you actually go out there to try and get to the property. I know there's some properties that we looked up in Kingman, Arizona and on the map it seemed like the road was smooth, but when we actually came down to trying to find the property, there was no way in, or there was one way in, one way out, and if it got washed out, then we were stuck at home until who knows when. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's the best websites that we found to finding land. We did find our land off of land.com, just using that map search feature, which is great. So if you are searching for your land, definitely check out those websites. And if you have any questions, you can leave them down below. More than happy to answer those for you. And I will see you in another video. Bye.